Yeah, hello everyone. Very warm welcome to you all. So I welcome you to career guidance session presented by me, Emmanuel, on behalf of the 360 DGTMG. So I'm very happy to present this session in front of you all. So you can just in between you can just post your questions if you want any help with that. So you can post your questions also. And I will also take some questions from my side, and I'll be sharing my interview experience, um, uh, like how many interviews I have given, what all the things I have come across, what what I have understood, and these all things I'll be sharing here. So feel free to ask your questions. Just type your questions in below chat box. Uh, First of all, so if I see about my journey, I have done a data science course from 360 DGPMG, and I have followed um, all the path. So whatever is required, completed assignments, done some projects and all. So these all things, you know, made me to, crack like few of the interviews, which I'll be sharing with you. So if anyone is having the specific questions, you can just post your questions, or else just I'll start with my experience. Okay, so let us start. First of all, I would like to discuss one thing. So, what type of questions I have faced, whether the things which I have learned in my course, those play any important role in interview and all. So that is also important. So for many of you, I think who have taken this course and who is giving interviews and all. So this will be very helpful for you guys because most of the questions and if you see the trends and all, so we can understand like what type of questions they'll be asking. So first of all, I would like to stress on uh, the things you know would be like the programming part. First of all, I'll be considering programming part, and next is theory part. Okay, and about projects, and about I think introduction. Introduction, as you people know, first our question, our interview starts with our introduction. But I don't want to waste much of the time in just introductions. Thing. So everyone knows like how to introduce ourselves and all. So we can take interview so how we want. Okay, so that we can take interviewer in our strong point also. We can also take our interviewer in our weakest points also. So we have to introduce ourselves in a such a way that so the interviewer should ask the questions which are my strong points. So first thing I would like to talk about, introduction part. If I talk about introduction, just start, with your, information, personal information with your name and all. So don't say anything like, your all hobbies and all. No need to, introduce those all things. Just say, where you are. Say example, say my name is Emmanuel. So I belong to this place. Okay, and about your father, about your place, and about your mostly you focus on what all the things you have done in your future, in your past. Like, what all the things you have done in data science, what all the things you have done in, programming. So mostly you can include some of the points regarding this also in your introduction part. So this will be the most important thing in the interview, according to me, because based on this question only, they will frame next questions. As I know, and mostly while introducing, be careful. Like, only talk about your strengths. I'll be writing some points in between. So first point I'll be considering as introduction part. Introduction should be very um, specific. Don't just take it general introduction. Interviewer should understand, like, you have done something in data science previously. So while doing that, you can also say, like, I have done this course from 360 digit mg, so I have worked on some projects. Briefly in one line you can say, I have worked on recently, I have worked on this project, so that then they will start asking you the questions on your projects and all. Okay. And second part is, as if you handle this introduction part, tell me about yourself, very you know effectively, then definitely interview will go in your side, because this is the most important thing, as I have observed. And one more thing, after the introduction session, in some of my interviews, so what interviewer has done is, he directly took me to the Python programming session. Okay. So sometimes what they say, they will just ask you to do some programming. So please focus on programming. So as of now, I know most of our friends and me, mostly everyone is focusing on programming. So you must know any one programming. It may be like Python, or it may be R. So you should be very strong. Okay. So they will ask you, sometimes they will ask you very basic questions, and sometimes they may ask you, a difficult question also. This portion is the most important portion, I can say, in the interview session, because here interviewer will be checking our coding abilities. Okay. So the most important part of our interview journey will be the programming thing. First, introduction will just tell about our personality or project or experience, everything. But when it comes about showing, presenting ourselves, our coding skills and all, this portion is very important. So before this also, I think some of the companies, what they will do, they may ask us to give some exams also. Okay. So that also you should prepare, I think. So mostly, sometimes they will give us some test, or they will give us some data. So they will ask us to perform some analysis on that. They may ask us to perform some machine learning algorithm also. They may ask us to give some test, which will be based on Python, SQL and all. So request, or I suggest everyone to mostly focus on Python, R, and also one more thing is SQL. These are the most important things, uh, which will take our interview, you know, in another level. So if we are weak in this session, these remaining things will not go good. Okay. So mostly I suggest. So what I have done at starting, I have given one or two interviews. So in them, I came across, like, everyone was asking about programming. They were mostly focusing on the programming part. So what I have done, hardly some, few questions they have asked me from machine learning algorithms and all. Okay. So very few questions. I'm not saying that those are not important, but I mean to say, The first thing they will start is they will start looking us is in us is the coding skills. So be perfect in coding. So I request everyone, from my experience, as I had starting, I have given one or two interviews in that they have focused on programming, and I started, practicing Python programming and SQL regularly. Okay, so practicing things is very important, especially when it comes about the Python, R, and SQL. So we have to take online interview questions and we have to practice them regularly. You can make a notebook in Google Colab. You can have a notebook, and in that notebook you can practice questions, and you can make your one file folder like interview questions. So whatever the question, one more thing is here in programming part, what I would suggest you is uh, just we can do one thing here. What I have done, I have made a folder, okay, which covers all my interview questions. Whenever my interview is done, what I used to do, I used to write those questions. Okay, make a note of interview questions and solve them. Okay, we have to solve them after our interview. Solve them and verify whether your answers were correct or not. Okay, this is also very important thing. So what we can do is we can we can just make note of interview questions whatever they will ask. If they are asking you some programming questions, so try to write those questions. Okay, don't forget those questions because that type of questions may repeat. In my some interview, questions, one or two questions have been repeated, so that may happen. So first of all, practicing programming, and during interview, when you do 2 to 3 interviews, you will come across many questions. Okay, so make a note of those questions and what type of questions they are asking. So you should read that. Okay, and you will understand like what is your weakness and what is your strength. So unless and until you are not facing any interviews, you will not get the idea how the interview goes. So I suggest you to start. If you have completed your course, start giving interviews and have that real time experience, and work on the weaknesses, work on the things. If my introduction has not gone good, so I have concentrated on introduction part. So I have written, I have made a introduction part and I have prepared it thoroughly. Just don't go into the interview and just tell about yourself randomly anything. So your introduction should be well prepared, and each and everything should be in structured manner. So that I have done. I have written everything like what I have to start with and how I have to end my introduction. So if they ask us programming, so if at starting I was very nervous when someone asks me to write a program. So what the confidence what we get when we type ourselves the program is completely different what in the scenario real time scenario in the interview session. So that problem also I have faced, but finally after 2 to 3 interviews, I have understood like what type of things they are asking. So mostly they were asking me the Python questions, SQL questions, and some machine learning questions also. So in theory part, I'll cover that. Okay. I hope you have understood what is the importance of programming. So I keep this programming part to the highest priority in the interview, because this part only has made me to crack interviews, Python and SQL programming. Okay, so in this, if I say like what type of questions they will ask, mostly they will ask you some basics question also. They may ask you some basic questions. Some they will mostly they will start with the basic questions. But if you are good, if you are answering some questions, they may go into some advanced questions also. Okay. They may ask, what is the average sales for this month? This type of questions. What is the profit? Uh, is What is the profit earned by the particular customer? So that type of thing. So order by, group by, okay, merging. So these all things are very important. Left joining, especially if it comes about SQL and Python, they may focus on left join, right join. Okay, so these join questions. So these all are very very important. Group by questions, order by question, ascending question, descending questions. Okay, sometimes they may ask you to create. Some in my some of my interviews, they have asked me to create a data frame. Okay, in some of my interviews, they have also asked me to uh, convert uh, convert a list to what do you call series. They may ask you to convert some one particular data frame, one particular data type to other data type also. So they will not take that much tough questions, like oops type of questions, and they will not ask you that much very very easy type of questions also. So you should know how the looping works, especially if I talk about loops, especially like Python for loops, while loops, functions, lambda functions. Okay, how iteration works in the Python programming, and also they will give you in some of my in one of my interview, they have asked me, they have given me some data. Okay, and he has asked me to extract a particular information from that data frame. Like I want all the sales done by this particular person in this month. So this type of questions they will focus, application based. They will not simply ask, they will not ask like just create a list. This type of things also they may ask. you know it depends on like how the interviewer going to take your interview. So they may ask you some basic questions also, just to create a list. And they may ask you like create a some type of and iterate through that list. So that type of things they may ask, because those questions I have also faced. So next thing is, if I talk about the theory part, especially I would like to before theory, uh, they will directly after this programming they will come to projects. Okay, so in this project they will ask you uh, about the problem statement. What was the business objective, what was the problem statement? Okay, problem statement they will ask. So you should be very much you have to by heart this problem statement of your project. And they will ask, mostly some people have in some interviews they have asked me about the data. How was the data? Okay, this is very very important question. So in almost all interviews they have asked me, explain about the data which was given to you, explain about the data. We sometimes what happens, we mostly focus on machine learning things. What machine learning algorithm we have used, what was the accuracy and all. This is the different thing. But when mostly they are interested you know in in us, like how we see the data and how we analyze the data, and what type of inference we get from the data. They wanted to know this also in some interview questions. Explain about the data. And they have also asked me uh, this question. I You don't believe, like they have asked me how many rows, how many rows and columns your data was having. Okay, this is also one of the question I have faced, and also they have also asked me about like whether have do you have any experience of handling big data also. Okay, so if our data is very less, sometimes what happens, we say like our data was around 100, it was having 100 rows and five four three four features. So this may happen, but what happens, uh, they are some of my interviewers were interested in knowing whether I can handle the big data things. Big data means not that much, high amount of data, the data which we, around like 3 lakhs, 4 lakh rows and millions of rows. Can I handle that type of data? That type of questions also they have asked. You should have that type of, hands-on experience of handling, a little large data. And they will, one more thing, what all the challenges you have faced in the data. Okay, whether the data was clean. Okay, whether the data was noisy. Okay, so what was the output feature? They have asked me what was the output feature. This was also a question. And in some of my interview questions, they have asked me, uh, tell me, tell us about the features features present in your data. So this is also one of the most important question I have faced in many, like 2 to 3 interviews. They were, asking whether I have done this project or not. Okay, so sometimes what happens, we don't focus on the data. Just what we do, we just take a machine learning data and we just feed into the machine learning algorithm and we just concentrate on the uh, accuracy. But that is not the thing. They know that, applying machine learning algorithm is not that much big thing. Analyzing and solving the problem statement is important thing. What were the challenges I have faced in the project? This was also the question. What were the challenges faced by me in the project? Okay, this was also one of the important question. So I come across and how I have solved it. Okay, how you have solved that particular problem. Okay, so these all the questions in the especially in the project, they will ask these all questions. Okay, so about the data, and after finishing about the data and all, knowing about the features and all, what they will do, they have asked me about what type of machine learning algorithm you have used and why you have used that particular machine learning algorithm, why not other algorithm. Okay, so this type of questions you should know, and you should, and I suggest you all, uh, don't tell the things which you have not done in the project. So you should be confident enough whatever you're doing, and you should be very careful in explaining the things about the project. Because what happens sometimes, if we are not doing that, we just mug up and we just read some theory part and we may tell that thing in the interview, but that will not work. So really, the problem which you have faced and how you have solved, that real time experience you should have. That I, suggest you to have that type of exposure. So whenever you people are doing the project, do two to one, two, three. How much project you want, you can do. Okay, it doesn't matter like you're doing hundreds of projects. If you're doing two to three projects uh, with honesty, you know, with thorough knowledge, with dedication, then that will be good. Okay, according to me, instead of doing many projects, just do some two to three projects which are very good and you can explain about them. Just don't take the data and just feed into the machine learning algorithm, and just you cannot do that. Okay, you should understand the data, and you should understand like what type of machine learning algorithm I have to use, and how can I improve my accuracy. Those all things you have to concentrate. And one more thing, uh, so before going to so I have explained about the interview, introduction about the data and all. The next thing says about the data cleaning also, they have asked me some of the questions. Also I have faced is mostly on data cleaning part. So Python programming, how can I use the Python programming skills to clean the data? So that was the thing they have asked me. So how can I remove the null values? How can I, if I'm having some numerical values in my data, if my data is noisy, how can I clean it? What type of algorithm I have, what type of logics I can put there? So that type of questions also they may ask you. Okay, mostly they will ask you to share some notebook, and they will ask you to write a particular program, particular logic for that. So that has happened with me in all of the interviews. And next part is, so if I talk about analysis and all feature engineering, everything they will ask you. So, and they may ask you about these things also. I have come across the conclusion part, like how you conclude your project. What was the, who were the end users of your project? So this is also very important. Who were the end users of your project? Okay, so this is also important. What business impact it has done? What is the sales it has given after using your project? So these type of questions they may throw in front of you. So and also, and how you have improved your accuracy and all. So that those are the normal questions so you can face. And they may ask you like uh, some of the question, if I recollect them. So mostly they will ask you what was the business impact of your project. So this is also very very important. So how much sales it has increased? What was the result? What was the positive impact it has done? So that is important. So if you are if you are strong in that, if you are conveying that your project has done this many useful things in the people's life, then definitely it will add value, okay, to the interview. So these type of questions also I have faced. And if I go further more things, so these are the important things. Okay, so how our projects are introduction, then programming, then projects. And they may ask you about uh, especially they may ask you to write a code on SQL also. Please remember this. Okay, don't forget. They will ask some questions, some of the questions from Python, and some of the questions from MySQL, SQL. Okay, they may ask you to write these questions, because I have faced these type of questions. And about the project, uh, they may ask, sometimes they have asked about my clients also. Who were the clients if you have done the project? So having answers for these all questions is very important. Okay, who are the users? Okay, sometimes these are also very important questions. And one more thing I would like to share here is, uh, sometimes the whole project we may not do. Okay, we do the project in the group. So particularly sometimes what happens, we may clean the data, we may deploy the model, we may uh, we may work in model building. So specifically, if you have contributed in model building, you can tell that I have contributed in model building. Then you should be ready with all the questions they may ask you in the model building part. That type of specific thing also you can do. Okay. So whatever you have done in the project, be truthful and be honest. Never ever lie. So what I feel, whatever you have done, just say that I have done these many things. Okay. And these all things definitely we will learn by our mistakes only. So in first interview, even I have done some mistakes. So in second interview, third interview, so when we keep on giving interviews, what will happen is we will reach a stage where we have answers for all the questions. That is the main thing. Okay, and improving every day with a past mistake is the most important thing in this phase. What which I have done, which I have seen. Okay, so that is also one more important thing. So if anyone is having any questions, I just now want to take some questions. I can see some questions are there online. So let me take some of the questions. Okay, someone has asked me which course is better, data analyst or data science. So I can say there is no better or that type of thing here. Okay, so data analyst and data science. In data analyst, see, we should know about what is data analyst and what is data science. Data science is very broad term. Inside data science, data analyst, these all things comes business analyst and all. Okay, so you can start with the data analyst also. That is also a very you know a good thing to start. Data analyst means we are mostly focusing on collecting the data, finding some useful inferences from the data, and these all things we may mostly work on, especially on Power BI, Tableau, Excel, these type of things. We will work in data analyst. So data science, if you can start with data analyst, and after 2 to 3 years you can become the data scientist. Okay, so data scientist is a higher post compared to data analyst. Both are good, better course. There is no that type of thing which one is better. Okay, somebody has asked me, Sai Prashant asked me, how can we put our project in the resume? So this is also very important question, which I can answer. So you have to write what is the uh, okay, what is the what are the important things you have done in the project. Okay, and especially you should write about the business objective. Okay, and what was your role in that project? That is also important. What was your role and how you have contributed for the betterment of the project? Okay, what impact you have made, what difference you made in the project, and how you have solved the problems in the project? That is also important, very important. Okay, so those all things you can put in the resume. You can refer some of the resumes to put your projects, and this is the most important thing in your resume about your the project. Okay, so very very important. So you can tell, like, how you have increased your accuracy from this much to this, and what was your project, what was its business objective, what was the problems, why you have done that project, and how you have solved the problem which was there in front of you. That thing you can mention in the project section. Okay, one more question is there, Sahil Arora. Any examples of what type of programming questions? Questions, yeah. As I have explained, programming questions may be mostly they will ask you uh, intermediate level questions. As I have said, they will ask you to some of my questions they have asked me to just create a data frame and do these things. Just create a data frame and extract values which are greater than 100, extract values which are less than 100, show me the customer who is profitable customer for me, show me the extract the customer who is loss making customer for me. So these type of questions I have faced, mostly this type of questions, not simple questions like just create a variable, just create a list, a tuple, these all these type of things they will not ask you. Every if you are as studying as a data science, so you should be knowing these all basic things. Okay, apart from these basics, mostly you should concentrate on some high level things also, and this programming is the most important thing. So if you give maximum time to the programming, Python programming or SQL thing, that will help you more compared to any other things, as I feel. Okay, next. Are you referring to data types? No, yeah, no, uh, not like data types. They will ask you to, they may ask you anything, but mostly they will ask you to extract the particular things from your data. So these type of questions I have come across in almost all of the interviews. As I have said, extract all the information related to this person. We use no, like we use group by for that. Okay, so group by is there, order by, group by, left join, right join, outer join, full outer join, inner join. These type of questions they will ask you. Okay, and uh, this is, I think Raju has said like putting one project won't enough in our resume or not. So I say you can put two to three, you know, two projects. Okay, minimum just put two projects. Um, you can also put one project also. There is no problem, but you should have strong knowledge in that. Okay, that will not impact. I think if you are explaining one project with everything, whatever you have done from top to bottom with thorough knowledge, then definitely there is no problem in mentioning only one project. After course, can I get 100% placement? So don't just focus on this thing. I ask you guys to be perfect in the things whatever you're doing. Don't you don't require anyone for the placement. I really say this thing. If you are working hard, if you are doing things in right way, nobody is required for you to get job. You will get many offers, as many offers as daily you will get interviews. Anyhow you will crack any of the interviews. So why we should depend on this type of things, 100% placements and all? Okay, nobody, everyone will take you to the interview, but no one will guarantee you that he will make you to clear that interview. Okay, ultimately you are the person who will be sitting in front of the interviewer and cracking that interview and proving that you can handle that job. Okay, that question, that I think you can strive for that. Okay, next is Sahil Arora. Have you studied AI as well? Yeah, I have studied AI. Okay, if any other questions are there, you can post. I'm just taking the questions. When you have started the course, so I think that is not that much important question. So I have done course with wonderful faculties in 360 digit mg. They were very helpful. And in one of the most important thing what I felt is the curriculum and the syllabus which they have designed in 360 digit mg. Okay, so they are focusing on python, they are focusing on sql, they are also focusing on machine learning algorithms, and whatever is required with very short period of time. They are not wasting the time, and the assignments are very standard, and the project guides, everything is very nice. So by, if you follow the curriculum which is given by 360 digit mg, definitely you will get a good position. Okay, so I especially, I'm especially thankful to each and everyone who has helped me in this journey, especially my um, career advisor, and my trainer. Okay, Deepthi ma'am, Sharat sir, these people, have tremendous knowledge in data science. Okay, so they have guided, they have built, they have helped me lot in you know finding my strengths. That is important thing. And the help, the doubt clarification session what is given in this um, 360 digit mg is excellent. So I have done internship in 360 digit mg, and that was very much helpful for me. Internship was the most important thing what I can say. So which has helped me, which has given me real time experience, okay, on the projects. Okay, and solving the particular problems and all, and solving the doubts of others. So that has impacted lot in my journey. And any other questions if you have, just you can post. Salary expectations, I think according to industrial standards you people will get the salary. So salary is very good in data science, as you people know. Okay, there is no problem in salary. And I would like to suggest, if I talk about key points, what are the key takeaways from this career guidance session? So start working. Okay, honest, be honest with you. Don't uh, take things lightly. Just have good friends in your course. Discuss the things. If you are getting any doubts, if you are getting any hindrances in your project, reach out to the mentors, reach out to the seniors, reach out to the doubt clarification sessions. Definitely, they are very supportive, and they have helped me a lot. Okay, in every situation, they have helped me. Not only in taking course, not only after taking course, also in my internship, in my interview preparation uh, journey, everywhere. Okay, so it was very wonderful experience. So that was the thing which I can share. So if I specifically talk about the cracking interview, so just you know start with the make your programming strong. That is the most important thing I can tell you. Make your programming strong, SQL and Python. Then the next thing is about the projects. Most important thing is the projects. What type of problem you have solved, whether that problem is impacted the society or not. Okay, whether you could able to solve that problem or not, how you have solved that problem. So those all things are very important. If I talk about the things what you can do after the courses, you can apply for, you can concentrate on uh, machine learning algorithm, especially you can go for banking sector type of projects also. You can go for NLP type of projects also. Specifically, I have done NLP type of projects. I have done two NLP projects which were very wonderful, and I enjoyed doing those projects, NLP projects. And also I have done some classification projects also, and regression projects also I have done. Okay, so that is also very important. So specifically, NLP projects have given me good exposure, good edge on others. Okay, so I have made NLP as my strength in my interviews. I have focused more on NLP projects. Okay, and NLPs are interesting. Okay, it is very interesting, and you can easily you know answer the questions. Okay, in NLP. And also one more thing, if I talk, if I just round off these all things, mostly most important thing is programming, projects, and data science knowledge, and some machine learning algorithms knowledge also. They have asked me what is the difference between tagging, boosting, these all things. I think you people know that. Everyone will know, whoever is coming to data science, everyone will come to know about bagging, boosting, these all things, classification, regression, these all things they will ask you. I'm not saying they will not ask these questions. These questions will also they will ask you, and also they may ask some questions on statistics also. These type of questions also I have faced. So please concentrate on statistics also. Yeah, coding part. So Sai Prashant. So if I say about the coding part, they will ask you to share your screen. Uh, they may ask you to open any notebook, IDE, and they will give you some questions, some data, or they will ask you to take your data and perform some basic tasks, group by, order by, these all things. Okay, ascending, descending, create a data frame, extract the specific customers, extract the uh, specific catalog, these type of things. Okay, I hope I have answered your question. Okay, so if you have any questions, please ask. I'll take your questions. Okay, Sahil Arora, is studying AI is important? Yes, of course, it is important. Studying AI is important. If you know AI, uh, it will be very helpful for you. Okay, they may ask you questions. They will ask you questions on AI also. If you put that you know AI, they will ask you to uh, explain about the AI part also. Okay. So it was very nice talking with you all, and I'm very thank once again. I'm very thankful to 360 Digit MG and all the dignitaries uh, from 360 Digit MG, especially Barney sir, Sharat sir, Deepti ma'am, Bindu ma'am. So everyone who has helped me in my journey, and it was wonderful experience. And sharing that experience is also, I'm very privileged to share uh, the experience, the things which I have faced in interviews, and guiding you um, and contributing something, so which will be helpful for upcoming uh, students. So thank you once again. That's all about from me. So have a nice day. Thank you.